Hi, I'm Troy Casey, certified health nut. I own my own holistic lifestyle brand. I've been studying cleanse and detox, herbalism, natural medicine for 35 years. And I have a YouTube channel called Certified Health Nut. Also Instagram, everything. I make thousands of videos.
Awesome. And what do you primarily focus on on your channel, or what is your focus?
Holistic health, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. So
Awesome.
those are the 4 bodies we have here in the 3rd dimension, and nourishing and nurturing them. And yeah, we're self-healing mechanisms. And so helping people get back to nature in all of its facets.
Now, one of the things that is of primary concern to the people in my area, which is the Central Valley, Fresno, Visalia, Hanford area, is the air quality, and we get cocci there, as well as a high incidence of cocci.
What is cocci?
Cocci is the coccidiomycosis, which is the valley fever that is endemic to our area that kills a lot of people.
What is the origins of it?
Coccidiomycosis, it gets in your lungs.
It's a fungus?
I would say it's an organism that is, when they till the earth, it comes up, and people, especially that are not of the area, get this disease and it kills them.
Yeah. Well, I live in Scottsdale, Arizona right now. We have our own valley fever there, so I've heard of it. And so, a big part of the issue that we're dealing with right now is the toxicity from industrial waste. And of course, you guys have industrial farming in that area. Pesticides and herbicides, these things are very detrimental. Pesticides are designed to take out the endocrine system and the nervous system of pests, right? And so long-term, low-level exposure to those types of pesticides. And in a farming community, you're not dealing with low-level exposure. Consumers are by eating it, right? And so that's why you're seeing some of the same or different diseases happening in the United States of America right now. You have 50% of adults have chronic illness right now. Cancers, diabetes, these things are going through the roof. We have a very sick populace. Gen Z is the most unhealthiest population to walk the face of the earth. Suicide is their number 2 killer. And 60% of Gen Zs have a chronic illness as well. Chronic disease, chronic illness. And so we have trashed the environment with industrial chemicals, and farming is at the forefront of that.
So what do you recommend for people that are exposed to this? What type of preventative or cure or something to help them holistically, as you say?
Well, I have 9 pillars in my book. I wrote a book called Ripped at 50, A Journey to Self-Love. The 9 pillars are first principles, as in physics, right? You can't have this without that. We're mostly water, so it's a good idea to put pure water into the body. Spring right out of the mountain is optimal, and then purified, reverse osmosis, structured water into the body. Very important, because we're mostly water. We're made of the earth, so it's a good idea to have pure organic food into the body. And Hippocrates said, and Hippocrates was the father of modern day medicine. We base our medicine off of the man's studies, and the doctors have to take the Hippocratic Oath, which is do no harm. And then they prescribe toxic medical drugs that do tons of harm.
Wasn't he also the one who said, let food be thy healer?
Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. So
Yes.
The food is our medicine. And we used to hunt and gather. What were we gathering? Roots, barks, berries, greens, any edible plant that we could ingest or make poultices out of, or teas. And so this is part of our nutrition, and we got far away from that. We're eating domesticated cucumber, tomato, lettuce, apple, orange, banana. They're all domesticated. There's about 15 plants that human beings eat that are more domesticated. But we used to hunt and gather anything that we could eat. And so we would eat a wide variety. And we've gotten far away from that. The body needs to move. A stagnant body of water turns into a cesspool. So the body requires movement. The body requires sleep aligned with the sun and the moon. no matter what the blue light or the lights that Thomas Edison invented for us, etc. And so sleeping with getting good circadian hygiene is very important. The body breathes. It's a good idea to not be a mouth breather or neck breather. Some people have heard of sleep apnea, etc. And so, and breathing from our diaphragm and making sure our diaphragm is working. And so we're nature beings. We need sunlight. We're electromagnetic. We need sunlight, and we need magnetism from the earth. So these are fundamental principles. So there's nothing new under the sun. Our grandmothers knew this. Our grandmothers taught us this. We know this in our heart of heart. But because of modern day society, we've gotten away from that. And so, so nature heals everything. You're going to need natural food. You're going to need farmer direct food that is grown without pesticides and herbicides. And this is possible. I'm 60 this year. I source all organic food. Only 4 to 6% of the food on the market is organic, high quality, biodynamic, wild, and so you must source your food wisely. I work with the Purium superfoods because they are excellent and they have an ultimate lifestyle transformation. I save people time and money at the grocery store. They don't have to think about their micronutrients. Their vitamins, their minerals, and their enzymes. Macronutrients, fats, carbohydrates, and proteins you get from your farmers. You can get raw milk if you can find it. Pasteurized dairy is not good for the body. And so once you clean up the body and start living a more natural life, then it's easier to manage and mitigate allergies, etc. Cleaning the vessel out, cleaning the mucus, the mucosal linings, cleaning the gut microbiome. If the pesticides and herbicides are in the environment, then that means they're getting in our gut. They're designed to kill pests, microbes. And so we have microbes in our gut, and so they kill off the good bacteria, and the bad bacteria proliferate. Mother Nature's garbage cleaners are the parasite, fungus, and microbes. And right now, there's so much toxicity in the earth. And so because of industrial waste and industrial chemicals, industrial agriculture chemicals especially. And so it's very simple. Get back to nature in as many facets as possible. Use natural medicine, which is herbs, organic food, chicken soup, bone broth, bone-in, slow cooks, those types of things. And practice fasting. Allow the body to scavenge the dead cells in its body, or the cells are metastasizing. And so the ultimate lifestyle transformation does that in the 10-day intensive. Plus it has parasite herbs. And I add to it, I take chelators and binders, cracked chlorella, zeolites. These things take the heavy metals out of the body, which is also in the atmosphere because the air, the water, and the soil has been poisoned, and the food has been poisoned. Many people are following RFK and the Maha movement. He's trying to take the food coloring that are known carcinogens, and they disrupt the cognitive function of children. That's where the ADHD and ADD is coming from. And so, so get back to nature in as many facets as possible and clean the vessel out a few times a year. I've been practicing cleanse and detox, juice cleansing, fasting, herbal medicine for 35 years.
Wow. And you look very healthy.
I'm extremely healthy.
Yeah.
I know I'm healthy. I had a 3-hour massage by one of my natural medicine healer friends, and he was working on my tissues, and he said that my tissues are extremely healthy. Because what happens is there's imbalances in the soil, and so you need this. The earth is us. We carry the earth on the inside, and we have a sodium, potassium, magnesium balance inside our tissues. And if we don't have that in our tissues, then getting a massage because you have neck pain or back pain, the practitioner can move the tissues, but if you're not feeding your body the proper nutrition and the proper water, it won't hold. The neck pain and the back pain will come back. You want supple tissues, not rigid, calcified tissues. And so
for the
and the bursitis and arthritis, these things are calcified tissues.
I see. So for the children that are autistic, in the Purium, what do you recommend for them to have to help clear that out?
Well,
or help them.
autism, according to William Thompson, the CDC whistleblower in 2014, they showed a 226% increase in African American boys with the MMR vaccine. And this data he buried 10 years previous to that. CDC whistleblower, William Thompson. And so the autism is coming from the poison injections. It's known, it's been speculated for a long time, but it gets buried in the media because who owns the media? The multinational conglomerates. And they own the media, the pharmaceutical companies, the weapons manufacturing companies, the oil, and the banking.
I
right?
did see a study that they had done that they were showing before Congress too, that vitamin A that they're using to help reverse some of that damage that is done with the MMR. Have you seen anything on that? They were giving actually injections, and then...
I haven't, but modern day medicine it's mechanistic, Newtonian, Cartesian physics, and we are in a different era of quantum mechanics right now, and people are looking for the unified field theory. And static linear inputs like drugs that we have, this for that, creates chaos in a harmonic dynamic system. We are a harmonic dynamic system that belongs in nature. We're animals, right? And we've been domesticated, poisoned for our modern day world. And so I think, it's important to really understand the psychological warfare and the bioweapons warfare that we're under. And people don't understand how the world works. I worked in the Amazon as a medicine hunter, finding the most powerful herbs on planet Earth. 25% of all cancer drugs and 42% of all drugs on the market get their impetus from rainforest plants. And I witnessed the destruction down there. And oil exploration was the number one component of rainforest destruction. And so I wanted to make a difference in the world. So I studied geopolitics. And the Federal Reserve was set up in 1913, and they voted it in on Christmas Eve when people weren't looking. And then we had World War I. That was a banker war. All wars are banker wars. They've been funding both sides of the war since Napoleon. And so then the Treaty of Versailles, that created the debt in Germany, and that created Hitler. And the Bush family funded Hitler, as well as other American companies. And then World War II, we got into the war as a false flag. Pearl Harbor was a false flag. We knew the Japanese planes were coming. And then the Gulf of Tonkin, which was Jim Morrison's father from the Doors, right? I'm going to tie it all together here. So Jim Morrison's father with the Doors, he was the commander in the Gulf of Tonkin. Gulf of Tonkin for the Vietnam War, which started the Vietnam War, was also a false flag. And then his father, he was the father of Jim Morrison, and the whole Hollywood propaganda machine really got into play with the music. Then they had the music of the 60s. You had MK Ultra that created Charlie Manson and Helter Skelter. And then you've got Mockingbird Media. These are all CIA operations to control the mind. So the warfare is in here. There's no longer trench warfare, World War I, World War II, which were gruesome. And we sent our young men to fight in those types of wars. And then the Vietnam War was televised. So we're traumatizing generations of people to control them. These are control mechanisms. And so the psychological warfare continued through our industrial age school system to program children to sit down, shut up, consume, conform, and comply, and be good factory workers. And then you take that all the way up into the 21st century. Psychological warfare is still here with Silicon Valley, which was the think tank was Stanford, and then the Silicon Valley, and all the control mechanisms that we see now. And so we're dealing with mass psychosis and psychological warfare. So people don't even know what they're eating. Yeah. They're disconnected from themselves, their soul, to God.
We're just not paying attention because they've got so many things to distract us.
Well, it's by design.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, nobody's a victim, but awareness is the first step. Most people don't understand that they're being poisoned. And so So that takes us through the 20th century, and the warfare is still going on. War is about controlling the people, and so and they're controlling the people the number one way. The Romans used to salt the fields, because if you control the food, you control the people, and that's what's happening. And then they're also controlling it with the poison injections. And so there's a good book, if anybody wants to read, Suzanne Humphreys' Destroying Illusions, where it really lays it out. She also has a 2 or 3 hour podcast with Joe Rogan recently. So all this information is coming out.
Yeah.
But I'm here to tell everyone that's watching this right now that you've been mind controlled, you've been manipulated. Look, I'm a product of the 60s. I came out of that whole era, and watching movies and music, but all that's predictive programming. MK Ultra, they used LSD on college campuses, unknowing people, and to manipulate their mind. And so now that you know that, then you reverse it. You get back to nature in as many facets as possible, because the chronic disease statistics aren't getting better, they're getting worse. And so, the planet is a very beautiful place to live. I think it's a good idea that we start moving our minds towards peace and harmony within inside of ourselves, and that's going to happen from eating good food, fasting, cleansing out the body, doing gentle movements, and being a healthy specimen so you can be of service to others and your family.
Now, one of the things that I wanted to ask you about...
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes. I've been studying all this lately. In fact, I was, especially because of that Diddy trial, I was watching...
Yes, of course, the Diddy trial, Epstein, it's all tied together. This is manipulation and control. I protested against GMOs when Obama was there, and he said he was going to label them and stuff. And I started waking up to this globalism, the World Economic Forum, the UN Agenda 21, written in 1992, which is now Agenda 30. They want to put everybody into 15-minute cities and control them like COVID lockdowns.
Yeah.
You can't go out of your house or your 15-minute city, and they're building these 15-minute cities in Scottsdale, where I live right now. They're propping up these big apartment buildings with pools and running tracks on the roofs, and the Wi-Fi is out of control, because that's part of the control grid.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thank you for all of this. And about the Purium, tell us a little bit about what you know about them. And
the thing about Purium is Dave Sandoval has been doing this for 35 years. He witnessed his aunt die, and she helped him when he was a young man. He was living on the street, and she helped him, and he watched her die from eating commercial junk food. And he vowed to make a difference. And so he's been sourcing and farming organic wheatgrass and other superfoods and herbs for 35 years. It's a family-owned company. It's vertically integrated. They are the source, the manufacturer, and the distributor of the products. So it's completely in-house controlled. So nobody owns it. It's not traded on the stock exchange.
They didn't borrow.
Yeah, it's owned by Dave and Amy, Dave Sandoval and Amy Venner, and it's a phenomenal company. I personally have been taking the products myself for 11 years. Previous to that, I've been juicing for 35 years. Now I don't have to go to the juice bar. 2 scoops in water and I'm out the door. And I have organic wheatgrass, spirulina, very high quality nutrients for me, my family, my community, and my clients.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for sharing, and I'm going to put you on YouTube.
Awesome. High five.
Thank you. Bye.